Hello friends, in this video we are going to discover the top 15 most corrupt states in America 2024. Corruption, though a global challenge, is prevalent in the United States across different states. Understanding the extent of corruption in each state is crucial for addressing this issue effectively. In an ideal world, corruption would be a non-issue, and governments at all levels would prioritize the well-being of their citizens. However, the reality is that corruption exists globally, even within the United States. While the U.S. ranks 25th on the Corruption Perception Index, CPI, as one of the least corrupt countries, instances of corruption and scandals persist. Certain states within the U.S. exhibit higher levels of corruption than others, showcasing the need for vigilance and reform. Corruption in the United States involves government officials abusing their political powers for personal gain, primarily through bribery or other means. Kindly make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon before we start this video about the 15 most corrupt states in America in 2024. Now let's dig deeper into each of the top 15 most corrupt states in America 2024. Number 15. Kentucky. Kentucky, despite being among the least corrupt states, still faces corruption challenges, albeit to a lesser extent compared to other states. The state's corruption index score of 0.02 indicates ongoing efforts to combat corrupt practices and promote transparency in governance. Despite improvements, corruption remains a concern in Kentucky. The state's ongoing efforts to combat corrupt practices have shown progress, but there is still work to be done to strengthen transparency, accountability, and integrity in governance and public services. Number 14. Michigan. Michigan is currently grappling with corruption issues across various domains, impacting governance and public trust. The state's efforts to address these challenges are crucial for combating corrupt practices and promoting integrity in different sectors. In recent years, a number of high-ranking officials in the Michigan legislature have faced charges and even jail time for corruption, accepting bribes and the use of dark money nonprofit organizations to fund extravagant expenses. Number 13. Alabama. Alabama's corruption concerns are reflected in its position among the most corrupt states in the U.S. The state grapples with corruption issues that affect various sectors and governance structures. Alabama's prisons are plagued by abuse, violence, and corruption at the hands of prison guards, according to a correctional officer. Alabama's prison system is rife with problems. In 2020, the U.S. Department of Justice sued the state of Alabama and the Alabama Department of Corrections, claiming our prison system had violated the Constitution's Eighth Amendment prohibition on cruel and unusual punishment. Number 12. Georgia. Corruption concerns in Georgia have a direct impact on state operations, posing challenges to effective governance and public trust. Addressing corruption issues in Georgia is essential for promoting transparency and accountability in state affairs. There are anti-corruption bodies and policies in place in Georgia, but their efficiency is questionable. High-level corruption remains a serious challenge to the state. While the regulation has improved, gaps remain in public institutions regarding conflicts of interest. Whistleblower channels are in place within public entities, but there is a minimal awareness of these by civil servants. Number 11. Tennessee. Tennessee struggles with corruption across various sectors, impacting the state's governance and societal integrity. Recent corruption cases and challenges underscore the need for robust measures to combat corrupt practices effectively. As Governing Magazine reports, the researchers document that the most corrupt states like Tennessee tended to spend money on construction, highways, and police protection programs, which provide more opportunity for corrupt officials to use public money for their own gain. Governing adds that those states spend less on health, education, and welfare, which provide less opportunity for officials to collect bribes. Number 10. Virginia. Corruption issues in Virginia have affected public trust and governance significantly. The state's challenges with corruption highlight the importance of transparency, accountability, and anti-corruption measures to uphold integrity in public institutions. While Virginia ranked 10th in terms of the overall number of criminal convictions, it came in 16th in terms of corruption convictions per capita. State Capitol Reporter's impressions weren't of an unusually corrupt state, they ranked it 34th. And the State Integrity Investigation gave it a D for the strength of laws in place to deter corruption. Number 9. Louisiana. Louisiana faces significant corruption challenges. Louisiana has a high rate of corruption convictions per capita, reaching 2.62 per 10,000 inhabitants. The state's challenges with corruption impact governance and public trust significantly, reflecting a concerning trend in the region. Official corruption prosecutions include bribery, graft, conflicts of interest, and other violations by federal, state, and local officials and law enforcement personnel. These cases brought by federal government attorneys involve the prosecution of governors, judges, federal and state legislators, and other federal, state, and local public officials who have been prosecuted for their criminal actions while in public office. Number 8. New Jersey. New Jersey is known for its history of political corruption. New Jersey has a long-standing history of political corruption, making it a notable hotspot for corrupt practices. The state's reputation for corruption underscores the need for continuous efforts to address and prevent corrupt activities. The Garden State ranked high in terms of sheer number of corruption convictions, but when considered in terms of number of convictions per capita, it falls to 17th place. State Capitol reporters' impression of corruption here is strong, their responses ranked it third among the states. And the State Integrity Investigation gave it a D for the strength of its anti-corruption laws. Number 7. Ohio. Ohio is dealing with corruption issues impacting governance. Ohio is currently dealing with corruption issues that have a direct impact on governance structures. The state's efforts to address these challenges are crucial for restoring public trust and integrity in governmental operations. While ranked 7th in total number of corruption convictions, Ohio's ranking falls to 14th in terms of convictions compared with the state's population. Its state capitol reporters might consider those rankings to be high, their impressions gave Ohio a 20th place rank in that measure. And the State Integrity Investigation gave it a D for the strength of laws in place. Number 6. Texas. Corruption challenges persist in various sectors in Texas, with a notable impact on governance and public trust. The state has faced many corruption convictions, reflecting the ongoing struggle to combat corrupt practices. That 6th place rank for the number of public corruption convictions in Texas plummets to a ranking of 35 out of 50 when measured as convictions per capita. State Capitol reporters' impressions gave it a 14th place ranking among the states, while the strength of its anti-corruption laws earned it a D from the State Integrity Investigation. Number 5. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania struggles with corruption in government and public services. Pennsylvania faces corruption issues, with a notable position in the list of the most corrupt states. The state's corruption challenges impact its economic progress and public trust in government institutions. Pennsylvania had a firm hold on 5th place on the list in terms of a total number of public officials convicted of federal corruption charges. When measured in terms of convictions per capita, that number drops to 13th, still not exactly a point of pride. State Capitol reporters tend to agree with those rankings. Their impressions gave Pennsylvania a 6th place rank for corruption among states. And the state earned an F for the strength of its anti-corruption laws. Number 4. Florida. Florida has been grappling with corruption issues across a multitude of sectors, reflecting a complex landscape of challenges that impact governance, public trust, and integrity. The state's ranking as one of the most corrupt states in the United States highlights the pervasive nature of corrupt practices within its borders. From political corruption to challenges in anti-corruption institutions and state laws related to transparency, Florida's struggle with corruption is multifaceted and requires comprehensive efforts to address and combat these issues effectively. The state's prominence in corruption rankings underscores the need for enhanced measures to promote transparency, accountability, and ethical conduct in both the public and private sectors to restore public trust and uphold integrity in governance. Number 3. Illinois. Illinois, unfortunately, has a notorious reputation for political corruption and scandals. The state ranks among the most corrupt, with a conviction rate of 1.66 per 10,000 inhabitants. The list of convicted officials includes governors, legislators, judges, and public employees. Figures like former Governor Rod Blagojevich, who attempted to sell a Senate seat, and Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan, implicated in bribery charges, highlight the persistent problem. The state's governance and public services bear the weight of these challenges. To restore trust and improve accountability, Illinois must continue its fight against corruption. Number 2. California. Despite its economic prowess, California faces corruption concerns. The state's position in the corruption rankings reflects this reality. With a corruption score index of 34, California grapples with issues like bribery, influence peddling, and abuse of power. Addressing corruption is vital for preserving public confidence and ensuring transparent governance. Even top-scoring countries have been implicated in cross-border corruption cases, emphasizing the need for vigilance and reform. California must continue its efforts to curb corrupt practices and uphold the common good. Number 1. New York. New York, a state steeped in history and prominence, grapples with a long-standing issue: corruption. Over the past decade, more than 30 current and former state officeholders have faced convictions, sanctions, or accusations of wrongdoing, making New York the state with the highest number of corrupt officials. The stain of corruption has touched both major parties, with high-profile cases involving influential figures like former Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver and former Senate Majority Leader Dean Skelos. The recent indictment of powerful Chicago Alderman Ed Burke underscores the ongoing challenges in New York's political landscape. Efforts to combat corruption remain crucial to maintaining public trust and integrity in governance. Conclusion. Corruption in the United States, particularly in these 15 states, poses a threat to effective governance, public trust, and economic progress. Addressing corruption requires concerted efforts from authorities, citizens, and institutions to promote transparency, accountability, and integrity at all levels of society. Each state's unique challenges with corruption underscore the need for continuous vigilance, transparency, and accountability in combating corrupt practices and fostering integrity in governance and public services. Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, click the subscribe button so you can receive more content like this. Post your thoughts on the most corrupt states among the top 15 most corrupt states in America in 2024 in the comments below. I'd love to read them, and I'm sure others would too.